well-being, please obey the following rules. Discard any fears or doubts you may have brought with you. Forget your past and embrace all that is new. Always let your hearts and souls go outside of the lines. Acceleration is normal and should not be resisted. Dancing is permitted and it's always encouraged. Your ride begins now. Welcome to the next year. Welcome to your trance entrance. Mulțumim pentru că v-ați alăturat nouă azi. Călătoria voastră va începe în curând. Pentru bunăstarea voastră, vă rog, respectați următoarele reguli. Renunțați la orice frici sau îndoieli pe care le aveți. Uitați-vă trecutul și îmbrățișați tot ce este nou. Întotdeauna lăsați-vă inimile și sufletul să-și depășească limitele. Fericirea este normală și nu trebuie să vă apuneți. Dansul este întotdeauna permis și încurajator. Călătoria voastră începe acum. Spune-i, bine ai venit noului tău. Bine ați venit în transcendental.
Well, I have many musical influences over the years. Enigma, the UK-based Iona, of course, epic, movie themes and video game themes, particularly like the Final Fantasy series. Always a fan of their music. I also listen to a lot of contemporary, jazz, fusion, and stuff. So I don't know. I listen to so many things, and I'm influenced by so many things, and all of it comes into play at one point or another when I'm writing. Well, in the end, when I started writing it, of course, I always start with the instrumental before I write lyrics. It's heavily influenced by the Terminator 2 theme. So as I was putting the song together, the lyrics started coming to mind, and I started thinking about, if I can get through this without choking up, I started thinking about Sarah's commitment to John in the movie, right? Even though everybody thought she was crazy, she was in there working out, busting her butt, getting prepared for the day that she would make her escape and protect her son. And yeah, she was protecting the future leader of the human race as well. Her son's to fight against the machines, but I believe it's apparent that her motivation was less for the world and more for her baby boy. And so, mercy. So when I started writing the lyrics to this, I'm thinking about that, and I'm thinking about the love we have for our children, and no matter how tough life can get, everybody goes through stuff. We've gone through stuff as a family, dealt with some heavy things, just like everybody. And but it doesn't matter, no matter how tough it gets, and no matter what we have to face, in the end, you're all I've ever wanted. That's what I would say to my babies, and I'll be right here beside you in the end, and in the end I'll still be fighting for you. So multiple layers of meaning in those lyrics, but for me personally, those lyrics are about my children, and yeah, so that one's close to the heart. Pepper is an Italian word. It means but yet, maybe you could say in spite of. And that song, for me, was written with the feeling and emotion that, once again, we all go through tough stuff in life. We've all had to face tragedies and other things. We all have highs, we all have lows. And, thinking back on some of the stuff that we faced, I faced individually, or we faced, as a family, or even as a society. Life continues, life goes on, right? And we pick ourselves up and we keep going, and that's, all these things happened, but yet, all these things happened, but in spite of that, we pick up and we keep moving forward, and we keep progressing, and that, to me, is just part of life. That's what life is about. We're going to struggle always, no matter how good it gets, no matter how good we do end up making this world. We're still going to have struggles, and it's the idea that, but yet, and in spite of, I'm going to get up and keep moving in spite of that. So, I started playing music when I was 14. I always say that I get bit by the music bug at that age, because even though I had always listened to a wide variety of music before then, it was like at 14 that all of a sudden I had to learn how to play. It wasn't really a choice. It was just something woke up inside of me, and I had to do it. So I started on the piano. My father is a wonderful piano player, and he's excellent. So I would drag him into the music room from whatever he was doing. If he wasn't already in there, I'd kick him off his piano and say, "Teach me something, teach me this." And I would just have him teach me a phrase at a time, and I would just pound that keyboard until I got it, and then I would move on. But I had to learn. And from there, I started learning other instruments as well, the drums, the bass, guitar, just a little bit of everything. And that's really helped me a lot when it comes to producing my own music, top to bottom. You know, that experience has helped, and I've, you know, been lucky to have talented musicians around me all throughout my life that have helped me progress and inspire me and keep me moving forward. So if I had to say one thing to the entire world in 5 minutes or less, wow, that's a tough one there. The world is what we make of it. It's what we make it. It's what we turn it into. All the traditions and all the things that exist right now were created by people who are no longer here, no longer with us. So it really is up to us if we want to change the way the world operates, to make it better, to make it, you know, people want equality of all sorts. People want things to be fair in every area. And if I had to say something to the world in 5 minutes, I would say, learn to recognize what the real enemy is. Learn to recognize the one thing that corrupts. Recognize the one thing that causes 99.99% of all human and environmental suffering. If you learn to recognize, pinpoint, get it down to the pinpoint issue, the root of the problem. If you can get to where you can recognize that, then we can finally lock arms and do something about it, and it'll be really easy at that point. But you've got to learn to recognize that. You know, saying exactly what it is right here, you know, I don't want to just straight up stir anything up. I'm just saying, if you get in the mindset that you're trying to find the thing to change, and it's a common enemy, it doesn't matter what kind of rights and equality you're looking for, it doesn't matter what kind of charity you're working with or cause you're trying to support and change you're trying to make. It all has one enemy. So until humanity comes together, understands what the enemy is, comes together under you know, one banner with one mindset to make the change, it's going to be a struggle. So my message to the world in 5 minutes or less is recognize what it is. Keep digging deeper until you have it's one issue, it's one thing, and you've got to dig, and you've got to keep challenging your beliefs in order to understand it. And once you do, then positive change can come to this world. Giving everybody the answer, turn their mind off to it, but you got to do the work. You got to dig. So that's what I would say. Recognize, and then we can have the world peace and end the suffering in the world.